Hello people, I am the Comic Book Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about the title Nightwing, because he's not Nightwing anymore, he's Rick Grayson, but the title itself, the book, Nightwing, because I just caught up on it, because I had not been reading it because of all the crap that's going on with Rick Grayson. I still had it on my pull list, I was still getting the issues, it's just I didn't read them. I was like, I'll just let them pile up for a bit and then collect them. So after issue 56 of Rick Grayson, which was like, what, that was 6 issues of Rick Grayson we had at that point. It was wearing on me, so I was like, I'll let it build up, then I'll read it. So I read it, I'm caught up now, and I'm here to let you guys know what's been going on, because I know not a lot of people have been reading it, and tell you guys my thoughts on it, and hear your thoughts in the comments as well. But anyways, Rick Grayson, if you don't know what the story with Rick Grayson is, it's Nightwing. He got shot in the head by KGBs, because Tom King said so, and when he got shot in the head, he lost all of his memories. Well, all of his memories from the time from the time his parents got killed onward. So before then, he remembers like being a kid, being a flying Grace and everything. But when his parents got killed, he doesn't remember anything after that. So he doesn't remember being Robin or Nightwing or Batman or anything at all. He's blank. And so he then decides to push everyone out of his life, like Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne and Damian and all them. And it's like, I'm not Dick Grayson, I'm Rick Grayson. I'm not this person you knew. I don't know what you're all on about. He's like, I don't like you guys. And he kind of throws a pity party for himself and like gets mad at people that love him because like, you guys are trying to force me to be someone I'm not. The thing is, he is still a decent amount like Dick Grayson, but not enough. But yeah, that recap that I just did also happens at the beginning of every single issue of this book. And it sucks because Dan Jurgens has to do that because DC knows that no one reads this damn book. So they know that everyone that's buying the book is someone that came back after a few issues and was like, oh, maybe he's not Rick Grayson anymore. I see Nightwing on the cover. Maybe, he's still Rick Grayson. And people that haven't read Nightwing in forever, like maybe people that just got back into comics and are like, oh, let me see what's going on with Dick Grayson. And they read the first 3 pages and it's all him going, I got shot in the head and lost my memories. No, I'm Rick Grayson. It's literally the beginning of every single issue from issue 50 onward. The first, I'd say about 3 pages of every issue is just exposition explaining what happened in Batman 55 or whatever, not Batman 55, whatever issue it was. I don't remember what issue it was he got shot in the head. It was so long ago. But whatever issue it was when Dick got shot in the head in Batman, ever since then, every single issue of Nightwing, first 3 pages, has been explaining what's going on with Rick Grayson. It sucks. And I feel bad for Dan Jurgens because he has to put that in the script of every single one of the comics he writes for Nightwing. And surprisingly, the book itself isn't as much of a disaster as you'd think. The stories are actually good and interesting. It's the characters that suck, which I guess it's not too surprising because it is Dan Jurgens and he is a legend in the comic book industry. He's a good comic book writer. He knows how to write good comics. He's just being held back by these crappy characters. Because you have Rick Grayson, who is just lightweight Dick Grayson. He's not really fun and charming like Dick Grayson. He's a bit more down on himself and everything and a bit darker, but he still has the heroic side of Dick Grayson. He still wants to help people and be a good guy. So he has that aspect of him, which is weird because in the beginning he talks about how he doesn't want to help people and he has no interest in being a hero. And then like a couple issues in, he immediately becomes a hero and he gets kind of addicted to it and he likes doing it. And because of his girlfriend, he's got a new girlfriend named B who goes to homeless shelters and helps homeless people, and because of that it makes him want to fight crime. Apparently that's like his motivation. It's stupid. But currently the Nightwings are a team. So you have Rick Grayson went to his underground base in Bloodhaven, where his sort of Batcave, where he had all his Nightwing stuff stashed. He went and he burned it down because he didn't want to be Nightwing anymore. But a cop went there because obviously the cops were called in the fire department and everything to put the fire out. And a cop went and investigated it, and he found all of the Nightwing suits. And he didn't tell anyone but his friends. So now him and his friends, so 2 other cops and 1 firefighter, are now the Nightwings. They use all of Nightwing's like different suits, like his Rebirth suit, his old Teen Titans George Perez suit, his New 52 suit. They use all those, and they are now the Nightwings. And they go around and fight crime, and they're pretty good at it for the most part. which is kind of weird because they're just, you know, like standard beat cops, like detectives and beat cops and the firefighter, but they're able to just jump around the rooftops like they've been acrobats their whole life. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's comics, so I don't really care that much. They end up fighting a fire monster, which was whatever. The Scarecrow storyline was interesting. I talked about that before. But the current thing that's going on is Talon is back. William Cobb. If you don't know who William Cobb is, he is like the first Talon you see in Scott Snyder's run and Batman run in the 52, and he is also Dick Grayson's great grandfather. So he has a connection with Dick Grayson. He wants him to turn to a Talon, and Year of the Villain's currently going on, which if you don't know what Year of the Villain is, it's this whole thing where Lex Luthor decides to try to get everyone to go towards Doom. It's the Year of the Villain's stupid. I'll probably do a video on it. It's a really dumb idea. I love Scott Snyder, but this is one of his dumbest ideas. So Lex Luthor decides to go and approach like pretty much every single villain in the DC universe and say, hey, join me and I'll give you whatever you need to do whatever you want. And for William Cobb, he wants to turn Dick Grayson. So he's like, hey, I'll help you turn Dick Grayson. The thing that I don't get is I have no clue what he's giving him. Like, they don't show us what he gives him. He just shows up and he's like, hey, join me when the time comes and I'll help you turn Dick Grayson to a Talon. And William Cobb's like, okay, but we don't see what it is. Like, what's he going to do to be able to make Dick Grayson, well, Rick Grayson, turn to be a Talon? Like, they don't, it's not explained, but I guess maybe later on it'll be explained. But anyways, William Cobb shows up and absolutely devastates one of the Nightwings. The Nightwing that's already been, like, this Nightwing's gotten his ass kicked before, like, a lot. He's the younger cop. He got his ass kicked a lot before, but William Cobb decimates him, like he should, considering he's just a cop. But that part was pretty cool, and when that happened, I was like, okay, I know they won't do it, but I'd be so down for William Cobb to kill all of the Nightwings and have that trauma sort of bring out Dick Grayson. Just have it bring out the Dick Grayson we all know and love and have him be Nightwing again. I just think that'd be really cool and a good way to bring Nightwing back, especially because the first time Nightwing fought William Cobb, he got absolutely destroyed and he barely beat him. The only way he beat him was he went down the subway tunnels and he used the coolant that was in the subway tunnels to stop William Cobb's healing, and he just shoved a Scream stick in his eye, and it was really cool. It was a great story by a great little tie-in by Kyle Higgins during the New 52, early on the New 52. So I would so be down for that to bring Nightwing back. Like, go dark. Have him kill these characters that they're a big part of the book, but they're not really characters anyone cares about. Like, there's some interesting aspects of them, like Sap, who's the main Nightwing, and he's like a detective who's kind of realizes the system's kind of failed, and there's a lot of stuff they can't do, and so that's why he becomes a Nightwing. The firefighter guy is kind of interesting. He has some trauma because he originally wanted to become a cop, but then when he was on training with a guy, he got that guy almost killed, and it made him go and become a firefighter. There's some interesting stuff with the characters, but at the end, I don't really care about any of them. And I think William Cobb slaughtering them all in front of Rick Grayson to make him to bring out Dick Grayson would be really cool. And I love anything with the Talons. I think they're really cool, and they were definitely one of the best parts of the New 52. But yeah, overall, this book hasn't been terrible. It's just the characters that aren't that interesting. Like, just Rick Grayson is a big part, because it's like, I want Nightwing, I want Dick Grayson. This guy is not interesting at all. He goes around and he pals around with the Nightwings, but he wears like a black t-shirt and has some rope, and he also has grease on his face to hide his identity, which is just so stupid. And he doesn't like have a name, and his outfit looks terrible. And he talks about how you can't be a Nightwing, he never will, and all this other stuff. But then he's doing exactly what they're doing, just wearing a different costume and not having a title. So it doesn't make any sense. The characters of Rick Grayson is annoying. Like, I want Dick Grayson back. But the book's, again, not all bad. There are some interesting moments. There's a funny moment to where Nightwing was helping out. Well, Rick Grayson was helping out one of the Nightwings, and the Nightwings is stopping this robbery, and he pulls a gun on the guy and tells him freeze, like goes full cop mode, and the robber's like, what, I didn't think you super types used guns. And like the robber was like so confused why this dude is just straight up pulling a cop move on him, like pulling a gun on him, telling him to freeze. I thought that moment was great, and there are some good moments in here. It's like the book isn't complete garbage. Dan Jurgens does do a good job, It's just the characters are terrible, and they need to fix that. And I know they won't have him do it, but if William Cobb just massacred them all and that brought Nightwing back, that'd be great, and I think that is the way to fix this book. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I think the book's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. It's not as good as it should be or could be. It could be a great book. Nightwing was fantastic till all this stuff happened. Like, what we had prior to this was great, with Sam Humphries' short arc with the Judge was awesome. We got a cool new villain with that. And then we got Benjamin Percy's run, which was short-lived but still great, and he also had some cool ideas, but then Tom King basically got him kicked out of the book because Tom King wanted different stuff to happen. And also, what the hell is with Batman never visiting Dick Grayson? Like, he doesn't care about anyone. Granted, I think that's more of a Tom King issue there, because Batman also disappeared and just left Damian, his son by blood, his actual biological son, just to deal with everything with City of Bane and all that, while he goes and has fun with Catwoman. And it's so bad. But I'm not here to talk about Batman, I'm here to talk about Nightwing. It's just kind of weird that Dick Grayson gets shot in the head and Batman goes and basically kills the guy that did it to him, and then doesn't check up on Dick Grayson again. It's like that. You went so far as to break your own rule to kill the guy, because if you don't know what happened, KGB shot Dick Grayson in the head. Batman went, found KGB. He's in the middle of nowhere in this really snowy area. Batman breaks his neck and leaves him in the cold. So he's dead. Granted, there'll be some retcon to where, oh, turns out a rescue helicopter flew over at the same time or something. Or I don't remember. They might have retconned it already in a later issue. I haven't read much of the Batman run since then. They might have done it in a later issue and said, oh, I called help or something like that. Sort of like they did the first time Batman killed KGBs back in the day, where he left him for dead to, like, starve to death. And then later he was like, I called the cops. And they could have done that again. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense for Batman to go so far as to break his own rule and then just screw you, Dick Grayson, I don't care about you at all. Like, Barbara showed up a couple times to try to help, but Batman, not at all. Bruce, nope. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the current Nightwing run. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think of Nightwing currently? Do you think it's absolutely terrible? Do you think it's okay like I think it is, to where there needs to be some big changes, but the book isn't terrible? You think it's really good? I just want to know, what are you guys' thoughts on it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, and I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million someday. You know I'm in the rhythm when I write this way. Put me in the ground when I bite this game.